We have a little saying among us, the power of the Jigger Shop. And you say Mount Gretna, and you know what the very next thing is going to be out of somebody's mouth. I bought the Jigger Shop in 1963, but I feel that I'm the keeper for the present time. It was pretty tough work. The gray paper was there when I bought the Jigger Shop in 1963, and as Jack said, Penn Supreme was the ice cream at that time. And Penn Supreme, as a number of ice cream companies wanted to do, they wanted to put their freezers into your establishment. They wanted to decorate. They wanted to do whatever, because, of course, they wanted their business. But in doing that, they took the finances out of the other end because their prices were high compared to if you had your own equipment, did your own decorating. Pretty humid tonight. The gray paper took the humidity. You could almost use it as a barometer, and it would hang down, and if it would be a real damp week, whatever, the same thing held true. And I thought, no way, I'm not going to deal with this. So after about the first or second year, there was no more gray paper. In terms of carbonated water, as Mike talked about, mixing chocolate syrup and root beer and what have you, they were doing those things when I bought the Jigger Shop. And I did that also. You know, soda fountains were basically always connected with a pharmacy. And soda fountains are basically chemistry. They really are. It's a whole mixology kind of thing. Now, they supposedly took an express wagon, which they pulled by hand, to the station and picked up ice cream. How much ice cream are they selling? Well, Nancy Bash often says that's the history of Mount Gretna, according to Jack Bittner. Where did the name, or where did the jigger, the item itself, come from? I know when I trademarked, Jack talked about the Jigger Shop at Princeton. And I had to get, that was the only search in the United States that turned up when we federally trademarked. And they signed off. At that time, there was never any indication that it was the Jigger Shop or a Jigger product. There were two pharmacies that come up from time to time. One of them was in Mannheim, and I think, I dug some things out. I think the name was Mabel, the girl's name, the woman's name is Mabel Koch, and it says that she invented the jigger. The story goes, according to Jack Bittner, that the jigger was invented right here at the Jigger Shop, and Mabel was one of those women. The other one, Jack was still living when I talked to Jack about this, and she was out in the Midwest someplace. And he said that he was in contact with her. And this little synopsis here about Mabel Koch, she mentions, she doesn't mention my name, but she mentions another girlfriend that they were buddies, and they put the jigger together. There's another one, and this was in Ephrata. Jigger was a little bit different. One of the things they put in it was cherry syrup. And that's the only place I ever heard that. But they claim that they invented the jigger too. The McClintoks, of course, Charlie Myer, the Kettering girls, we know about that. After that, people by the name of Dellinger, Kervin and Mary Dellinger, were the fourth owner. They lived in Lebanon, and they also, their brother, who was a doctor in York, I don't know his name, they were together in the business. Well, if you're from Lebanon and you're old enough, J.C. Howard was a wholesaler of tobacco products and also fountain syrups. Richardson syrup. And Richardson was a big name in soda fountains all over maybe the United States. When I bought the Jigger Shop, even though I didn't buy it from the Dohnors, I knew them both. In fact, Mary is still living. I think she's in her middle 90s. She was at the Jigger just a few weeks ago, and I had a chat with her. In 1948, the McClintoks had the Jigger Shop. I know that for a fact. I do know that in the 50s, the Dohnors owned the Jigger Shop. And the reason I don't think they had it very long is because the fifth donor, who I bought it from, was Attorney Joe Hill, who happened to live in Jack Anderson's house. And I knew Attorney Hill. The history is rich. There's no question about that. At this point, I'd like to talk about the Allwein years because that's what I know for sure. To start with, in 1962, my wife's parents were friends with a woman who lived in the camp meeting. Judy, if you know the Boycos, Judy is her daughter. She managed the Jigger Shop for the Hills. And she was afraid it was for sale, and she was afraid that they were going to sell it, and she really needed a job in the summertime. She worked in the cafeteria in Cornwall, Lebanon in the winter. So my mother-in-law, who was a friend of Peg, decided to rent the Jigger. They were both, my mother-in-law, Alma, and Peg, were avant-garde, flamboyant women and chancy women. They really were. So they decided to take this on. And at that point, I was in college. That particular summer, I worked a little, just a little, at the Jigger. Had a job in Lebanon at a men's clothing store, and was taking a calculus course in summer school. It worked out, you know, in terms of what was going on there. The business was not great, and the condition of the place was terrible. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But nevertheless, at the end of the summer, I'm working in this clothing store, and it just so happened that Attorney Hill's office was right across the street in the Farmers Trust building, if you're from Lebanon. My store was Lawns. It used to be Bayshores, so I'm looking right at Attorney Hill's office. I thought, I think I'll go over and talk to him. I knew I was going to teach at that point, and I did. And he says to me, he said, "You can't afford this." He said, "You're a college kid." Well, so what? But nevertheless, we worked it out in one way or another. My dad helped a lot. So that started my tenure at the Jigger. The building caved in, I think, I'll say 61 with a snow load. Thank goodness it was rebuilt. The odds of that were probably great. Mr. Hill did not rebuild it for Jigger Shop profits, I'm sure of that. But he did a very smart thing. He built the roof and kept it structured separate from the floor. And if you look at it today, there are 6x6 posts on concrete footers, and the floor, now since I have it, the whole thing is integrated together. But at that time, it was basically a pavilion with a floor built inside. And that was really